Have you ever met someone who seems impossible to hold back no matter how comfortable or secure their current situation may be? Someone who constantly searches for new adventures, new experiences, and new horizons beyond what most people consider enough. Someone whose spirit becomes restless the moment life starts feeling repetitive, predictable, or overly controlled. If so, chances are you have encountered a Sagittarius. Among all the zodiac signs, Sagittarius is often viewed as the fearless explorer and the eternal seeker of truth. They are known for their optimism, independence, curiosity, and unstoppable desire to experience everything life has to offer. Wherever there is something new to learn, discover, or explore, Sagittarius is usually interested. Their energy often feels exciting because they are constantly looking toward the next adventure. While many people seek comfort and stability above all else, Sagittarius seeks growth and discovery. What many people fail to realize is that Sagittarius's greatest power is not simply courage or intelligence. Their greatest power is their untamed spirit. It is the part of them that refuses to be controlled by fear, limitations, expectations, or social pressure. Sagittarius is represented by the archer, one of the most symbolic figures in the zodiac. The archer is always aiming toward a distant target somewhere beyond the visible horizon. This image perfectly reflects Sagittarius's personality and approach to life. They are constantly focused on what lies ahead rather than what has already been achieved. Their attention naturally moves toward future possibilities and unexplored opportunities. Sagittarius rarely enjoys staying in one place for too long emotionally, mentally, or physically. They feel most alive when moving forward and expanding their horizons. Life to Sagittarius is meant to be experienced rather than merely observed. They believe every experience contains a lesson worth learning. While many people seek predictable routines and familiar environments, Sagittarius seeks discovery. They view life as a journey filled with endless opportunities for growth. From a very young age, Sagittarius often displays an unusual curiosity about the world. They ask questions that many other people never think to ask. They are fascinated by cultures, philosophies, beliefs, traditions, and different ways of living. Their minds constantly search for understanding beyond surface-level explanations. While some people accept things exactly as they are, Sagittarius wants to know why things are that way. This desire for understanding pushes them beyond familiar boundaries. It encourages them to explore ideas, places, and experiences that others may never consider. One reason Sagittarius can never truly be controlled is because they are deeply connected to freedom. Freedom is not merely something they enjoy from time to time. Freedom is something they genuinely need in order to thrive. Just as a bird needs the sky to fly and a fish needs water to survive, Sagittarius needs freedom. They need the ability to make their own decisions and follow their own path. When they feel trapped or restricted, something inside them immediately begins to resist. Their spirit naturally rebels against anything that feels overly controlling. This reaction is not always intentional. It is often an instinctive response to limitations. Sagittarius values independence more than most people realize. This desire for freedom influences nearly every aspect of their life. It affects their relationships, careers, friendships, goals, and personal decisions. They are happiest in environments that encourage growth and exploration. They need room to think, breathe, learn, and evolve. Attempts to control Sagittarius usually produce the opposite of the intended result. The more pressure they feel, the stronger their desire to escape becomes. Restrictions often motivate Sagittarius to seek even greater freedom. Their spirit refuses to remain confined for long periods. This is one of the reasons they are often described as untamed. Their desire for freedom is one of the strongest forces shaping their personality. Many people misunderstand Sagittarius's love for freedom and assume it means they fear commitment or responsibility. In reality, Sagittarius is capable of remarkable loyalty, dedication, and consistency when they choose a path willingly. The issue is rarely commitment itself, but rather the feeling of being controlled or forced into something. Sagittarius wants to feel that their choices belong to them and no one else. They need relationships and responsibilities that support their growth rather than restrict their independence. When freedom and commitment exist together, Sagittarius can become surprisingly devoted. They are far more dependable than many stereotypes suggest. Another reason Sagittarius remains untamed is their extraordinary optimism about life and its possibilities. Most people are limited by fear in one form or another. Fear of failure prevents many individuals from pursuing their dreams. Fear of rejection stops countless people from expressing themselves honestly. Fear of uncertainty often keeps people trapped in situations they have already outgrown. Sagittarius approaches these fears differently than most signs. They believe opportunities exist almost everywhere if someone is willing to look for them. They trust that even difficult experiences contain valuable lessons. This positive outlook gives them courage when others hesitate. It allows them to take risks that many people would never consider. Because Sagittarius is less controlled by fear, they often achieve things that seem impossible to others. They are willing to start over in unfamiliar environments if necessary. They are willing to travel alone in pursuit of meaningful experiences. They are willing to challenge traditions and beliefs that no longer make sense to them. They are willing to pursue unconventional careers and lifestyles if those paths feel authentic. While others focus primarily on potential dangers, Sagittarius often focuses on potential rewards. This mindset allows them to experience life more fully and boldly. Sagittarius is also one of the most honest signs in the zodiac. Their honesty can be refreshing, entertaining, surprising, and sometimes even shocking. While many people carefully filter their words to avoid conflict, Sagittarius often speaks directly. They place tremendous value on truth and authenticity. If they believe something needs to be said, they usually find a way to say it. They prefer honesty over popularity. They would rather speak the truth than gain approval through pretending. This authenticity contributes to their reputation for being impossible to control. Sagittarius is unlikely to tell people only what they want to hear. They are more interested in being genuine than being universally liked. Some people admire this quality deeply. Others find it intimidating because it challenges comfort and expectations. Nevertheless, Sagittarius rarely changes their truth simply to fit in. One of Sagittarius's greatest strengths is their remarkable ability to adapt. Because they constantly explore new situations, they become comfortable with change. New environments rarely frighten them for long. Instead, they often become excited by unfamiliar possibilities. While some signs struggle when routines are disrupted, Sagittarius frequently thrives in uncertainty. They view change as an opportunity rather than a threat. Their adaptability helps them recover quickly from setbacks and disappointments. Even when plans fail, Sagittarius often finds a new direction forward. Their resilience allows them to continue moving despite obstacles. They understand that growth often requires stepping into the unknown. This willingness to embrace uncertainty gives them tremendous personal power. It allows them to navigate life with confidence, flexibility, and courage. And it is one of the many reasons Sagittarius remains one of the most adventurous and unstoppable signs in the zodiac. Another hidden source of Sagittarius's power is their deep and lifelong love of learning and expanding their understanding of the world. They are not merely adventurers of the physical world, but also explorers of ideas, knowledge, and wisdom. Sagittarius constantly seeks answers to questions that inspire curiosity and personal growth. They enjoy exploring philosophy, spirituality, psychology, history, and different systems of belief. Their minds are naturally drawn towards subjects that encourage deeper thinking and broader perspectives. They understand that true freedom comes not only from physical movement but also from intellectual growth. The more they learn, the more possibilities they discover. This pursuit of knowledge often makes Sagittarius extremely open-minded. They are willing to consider viewpoints that differ significantly from their own. They enjoy meaningful discussions that challenge their assumptions and expand their understanding. Unlike people who cling rigidly to familiar beliefs, Sagittarius remains curious about alternative perspectives. They recognize that learning is a lifelong journey rather than a destination. This curiosity helps them avoid becoming trapped by narrow thinking. Their minds remain flexible because they are always searching for greater understanding. Sagittarius often believes that wisdom can be found almost anywhere if a person remains open to it. Because they value truth and exploration, they frequently become natural teachers and storytellers. They enjoy sharing lessons gained through their experiences and adventures. Their enthusiasm makes even ordinary stories feel exciting and meaningful. When Sagittarius speaks about something they genuinely care about, their passion becomes contagious. People often find themselves inspired by Sagittarius's excitement and optimism. Their energy encourages others to think bigger and dream beyond their current limitations. They naturally motivate people to explore opportunities they may have previously ignored. One reason people are drawn toward Sagittarius is their extraordinary sense of adventure. Being around them often feels exciting because they are constantly discovering something new. They bring energy, spontaneity, and possibility into the lives of those around them. Their presence often reminds people that life is larger than routines and responsibilities. Sagittarius encourages others to step outside their comfort zones and embrace new experiences. They remind people that growth rarely happens without exploration. Their adventurous nature often creates memorable experiences wherever they go. Friends and loved ones frequently appreciate the excitement Sagittarius brings into their lives. However, Sagittarius's love of freedom and adventure can sometimes create challenges. Because they are always seeking new experiences, routine can sometimes feel restrictive to them. Repetition often causes their enthusiasm to fade more quickly than it does for other signs. They may become restless when life feels too predictable or repetitive. This restlessness can occasionally make it difficult for them to remain focused on long-term goals. They may become excited about new opportunities before completing existing commitments. Their attention naturally moves toward whatever feels most exciting and inspiring. While this quality creates adventure, it can also create inconsistency. Learning how to balance excitement with persistence becomes an important life lesson. Another challenge Sagittarius faces is their tendency to act before fully considering every consequence. Their optimism often convinces them that things will work out somehow. In many situations, this confidence helps them achieve impressive results. However, it can also encourage unnecessary risks if not balanced with wisdom. Sagittarius sometimes jumps first and evaluates the situation afterward. They trust their instincts and enthusiasm more than detailed planning. While this approach often leads to exciting opportunities, it can occasionally create complications. Experience gradually teaches Sagittarius the value of balancing courage with preparation. They learn that responsibility does not have to destroy freedom. They discover that planning can actually support their adventures rather than limit them. This growth allows Sagittarius to become even stronger, wiser, and more effective while maintaining their adventurous spirit. Relationships can sometimes be particularly complex for Sagittarius because they value both emotional connection and personal independence equally. They genuinely desire meaningful relationships that provide love, support, understanding, and companionship throughout life. At the same time, they need enough freedom to remain true to their own identity and personal goals. They do not want to lose themselves simply because they care deeply about someone else. Sagittarius believes healthy relationships should encourage growth rather than create restrictions. They want partners who trust them rather than constantly trying to control them. When given freedom and understanding, Sagittarius often becomes an incredibly loyal and devoted partner. However, when they feel trapped, pressured, or restricted, conflict usually begins to develop. Attempts to control Sagittarius often produce the exact opposite result from what was intended. The more someone tries to hold them back, the stronger their desire to break free becomes. This reaction is not necessarily rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It is usually a response to feeling that their independence is being threatened. Despite their independent nature, Sagittarius is often far more generous than people expect. They genuinely enjoy helping others achieve success and happiness in their lives. Sharing knowledge, experiences, and opportunities brings them great satisfaction. Sagittarius often wants the people around them to experience the same joy and freedom they seek for themselves. Their encouragement can be incredibly motivating during difficult periods. They often inspire friends and loved ones to believe in possibilities they had previously ignored. Their optimism has a way of lifting the spirits of those around them. Even during challenging situations, Sagittarius often helps others maintain hope. Another reason Sagittarius cannot easily be controlled is because they trust their inner compass. While many people rely heavily on external approval, Sagittarius places tremendous value on personal truth. They listen to advice and consider different perspectives carefully. However, they ultimately prefer making decisions based on their own experiences and beliefs. They want their choices to reflect their authentic values rather than social expectations. This independence allows Sagittarius to remain true to themselves even when facing pressure. They are willing to stand alone if necessary rather than abandon what they believe is right. This courage earns respect from many people who admire authenticity. As Sagittarius matures, they begin to develop a deeper understanding of freedom itself. They gradually realize that true freedom is not simply doing whatever they want whenever they want. Real freedom involves making conscious choices and accepting responsibility for those choices. Mature Sagittarius understands that actions always create consequences. They learn that accountability strengthens freedom rather than destroying it. This realization becomes one of the most important turning points in their personal development. They begin seeing discipline as a tool rather than an enemy. They discover that commitment can create opportunities instead of limitations. They learn that structure, when chosen willingly, can support growth and success. This new perspective transforms Sagittarius into an even more powerful individual. Their adventurous spirit remains strong, but it becomes guided by wisdom and purpose. They continue exploring the world with excitement and curiosity. However, they become more focused in how they pursue their goals and dreams. They learn to balance independence with meaningful connection. They learn to balance spontaneity with responsibility. They learn to balance freedom with commitment. These lessons help Sagittarius achieve greater success and fulfillment throughout life. Their natural enthusiasm becomes more effective when combined with discipline. Their courage becomes even stronger when supported by experience and wisdom. Their optimism becomes more realistic without losing its inspirational power. This growth allows Sagittarius to remain adventurous while becoming increasingly capable and reliable. And it is this balance between freedom and wisdom that ultimately reveals the true strength of the Sagittarius spirit.